Stay tuned for today's Antidote, brought to you by the Renegade Success Network. Today's Antidote features a healthy dose of thought-provoking insights and information for business owners, entrepreneurs, leaders, and nonprofit professionals. Each day since March of 2020, this program has offered that one thing to help you continue on your own unique pathway to success. And now, Renegades, we bring you Bob Graham and Tom Brush.
Monday. Hey, Tom.
You look very relaxed.
I am chilling. I am at a client's office, and I've got a beautiful scenery. It's kind of chilly out here. This is it. But we can wait no longer, Tom, because one of the best days of the year is today. We have our National Day.
Right.
I think once I tell you this one, you're going to say, oh, I see why you care so much. It is National Get Out of the Doghouse Day. The day I've been waiting for at least 30, 40 years, maybe my whole life. My hope is that by the end of the day, I am out of every doghouse that I've ever been in. I can think of one or two big ones.
Okay. You think it's just going to magically happen? Was it the day of that?
I can dream, can't I?
It's an interesting day. Get out of the doghouse.
I thought you'd like that one.
Yeah, I'm trying to comprehend that. Take that all in.
You're not alone.
It's not like you're celebrating the sugar cookie or something else. It's like, so is this like the get out of jail free card?
If only.
So everyone who's currently or has been in a doghouse is now, all is forgotten.
I could go down this road really far, but I refuse to. It would jeopardize part of my Wednesday activities, and I'll leave it there. So so we've got a great new week, Tom. This month has become branding month. Last week we talked about personal branding. This week we're going to talk about professional branding, your business branding, or your branding for your organization. So do you want to pick up the ball from there, Tom?
Well, sure. I mean, I think that I think it's an interesting conversation that I think as we've explored it for the last 2 weeks, there's lots of options for you to consider. Do I have a separate personal brand? Do I have a unique professional brand? And when we talk professional brand, we really mean you as a professional, maybe your organization, maybe your team, all of those things that are how you go about doing your business, whatever that might be, your professional life. And, and I think that there are a lot of, like I said, options out there for you to consider. Some people believe that it's all one and the same, and that's the way they want to do it. Others would be like, well, I have my professional persona, whatever that might be, and then I have my personal life, and my personal life could be completely different than the way I come across as a professional. And others would say that, well, that's not really being who you are, what's real for you. So I think that there are a lot of options, but I think if we want to laser focus in on your professional brand and why you need it, it's because I think, like all other branding, it helps define and describe who you are, who your organization is, what your business is all about, because otherwise people don't necessarily know. And I think, we mentioned this, I think a while ago, is that people come up with a name for a company, and that only tells a piece of the puzzle. Then there's the logo, then there's the colors you choose, then there's what are the messages you have? Is there a tagline? All of those other pieces that help further describe who you are and what you do and how you help others with your service, your widget, whatever it might be.
I like all that, Tom. I would add that one of the things about having a team brand, and I do think teams can have brands, because I was thinking back to my corporate life where, we were known to get stuff done. That all the time with one team I with, The company really started to recognize that. With other teams, it was like, oh, these guys are never going to meet their deadlines. And so you have those types of things. And then we have that, more broadly with a corporate brand, the brand of the company, or our brand if we're an individual running a company. And I think what that brand ultimately does is it helps mitigate the preconceived notions, right? Because we go into something thinking this is going to be expensive, or this isn't going to be useful for me, or I can never understand this. And so I think a branding statement, and I think our branding helps us connect more with people. Because if you think about it, what we're doing with all the work we do is really sharing ideas and processes with people, services, and we've got to find a way to mesh. Because if the person knew everything I knew, why would they hire me? I'm doing a presentation to a group a couple times tomorrow on innovation and collaboration. They could do it themselves, except they don't have anyone who can put together a presentation the way I do. They can't engage their audience the way I do. I've developed a brand with that company as someone who's really creative in how I present information. And so they were going to do one workshop, and now they have 3 scheduled, because it's like, oh, he sent me some emails. People are like, Bob's great. I got to get in on that. You don't have more slots? And he's like, could you please open more slots? We ended up doing another thing. So that brand was developed by how I presented myself to that group each time, even in the discussions. I'm not your boring stand and speak guy. If that's what you want, I'm not that guy. If you want something a little out of the box, a little creative, people are going to get their hands dirty, I'm your guy. Then implementing that, that's what I did in those workshops. And now the employees know that it's not going to be a PowerPoint hour and a half of me telling them all the stuff and giving them the latest and greatest research. I'll work that stuff in, but they're going to do a limerick tomorrow, thanks to your suggestion. They're going to create a limerick as a team. They're also going to hum a tune as a team. And none of them are expecting to do that tomorrow.
Sure.
And so there's a case where my brand is to be out of the box different, to be a renegade, frankly. And they know that, and this company has a lot of younger employees, and it fits them perfectly. Another company might go, dude, where's the hour and a half presentation? We don't want to talk. We don't do a discussion. That's not the way we roll. We expect you to come in and just talk for an hour and a half, and we sit with our little notepads, and then we go back to our desk and do our job. Oh, okay, that's fine. I'm not your guy.
Sure. Well, I think
that's part of it too, is accepting what our brand is and being consistent, even when someone offers you an opportunity to do something that's off brand.
If that's your choice.
It's absolutely a choice. I mean, I've done it. Don't get me wrong, but I think the more we're consistent with our brand, the more people start to recognize we're a certain way. And it becomes, oh, Bob is this, Tom is this, Bill is this, Steve is this, Susan is this. And that helps. I know 20 tax preparers, probably 120 insurance brokers. They each do their job well. For the right person, if you said to me, hey, Bob, I need an insurance agent, who do you know? I would tell you someone different than I would tell Tim. And that doesn't mean that the person's good or bad. I think that's the brand. Oh, this person's brand and what I observe of their brand matches up with what I think you're looking for. Right?
Sure. I mean, I think that's the reason that it's necessary. So people are more aware of what you're offering and how you offer it. Because otherwise they are uncertain of whether the way you present yourself, the way you present your services, your goods, is what they need. If McDonald's was not saying they're fast food, people would be like, well, it must be they're a restaurant. And yes, you can go in and sit down, although I think less and less people do that. They're more, now they have a drive-through it. All of those things that allow it to be quick, and that's part of their brand. And I think that the challenge is when you, especially if you're starting out, how do you create that brand? How do you determine how it is that you want to be seen by the people who you're trying to attract? And does that match up with what they are looking for so that they're easily able to say, that's exactly who I need? That's the widget that I need to change the way I go about doing things. And I think that's the challenge, especially for new business owners, is to think about what is the brand? How is it that I want to be seen? What is the difference that I make so that I'm able to attract those that I think I can help?
And I think when we talk about why it matters, the more zeroed in on this we get. I think of it as sort of concentric circles. The closer you get to the bullseye, the easier it is to build a business. The easier it is to build a team because the people that match that will gravitate to it when you're clear. I've seen it again and again with, who would have thought that there would be escape rooms all over the place? They went out and branded those, and it's like, hey, this is a great way for your company, your friends to get together and share in some unique experience and have a little risk. Oh, that sounds great. And now there are all those things where you can throw axes.
Sure.
And they brand them as, a chance to release stress. And once you get that, it's like, oh wow, that's a great way to release stress. I've had 3 or 4 people say, we should go do that.
Correct.
And 2 years ago, that didn't exist in my world.
Right. Because people saw it as a new way to handle not a unique, but a reoccurring challenge that people are facing. And they felt like this might be something different that people would attract. It was like when many tech companies started providing food, gyms,
Right.
Pool tables, activities in the office. I think the brand was that, hey, we're this great place where we're going to provide for everything you need. Interestingly enough, I think behind that brand is, why ever leave? If you
Right.
have all of these things here, why would I need to leave? I can just keep working and working and working, and everything is taken care of. I don't have to leave this space, which means I'm probably going to get back to work faster.
And you also meet other employees, and you might, while you're waiting at the laundromat or waiting at the grocery store in the line, you might bump into someone and share what you do. And next thing you know, you can collaborate.
Correct.
And that's part of the brand of some of those it's a great example of some of the big tech companies. But the other one I think about is auto insurance. I mean, think of how the different auto insurance companies brand themselves. One's 15 minutes. Another one is we'll cover anything, and we've dealt with squirrels in the engine, and
Right.
and they give you every crazy example. And then others are, we have this bundling that we can do with your auto and your home, and they're all doing the same thing. All those property casualty insurance companies are basically doing the same thing, and the rates aren't that different when you get down to it, but they present themselves in different ways. So if you want to bundle your auto and home, you're going to think of a certain company. And if you want to get it done really quick, you're going to think of another company. And if you've got a weird case, a vehicle with a whole bunch of plastic models on it, you're going to go to a third company. But I know from watching TVs, listening on the radio, seeing in magazines, and hearing people, which of those I would go to in each case. And that's the ultimate part of branding, right? So the person knows when a situation arises, whether it's insurance, whether it's speaking, whether it's a nonprofit trying to figure out how to raise more funds more easily or work with their staff, they're going to go, oh, that's Tom. And that's what we're all trying to achieve. So, Tom, as we get near the end of this, what's your one thing today?
I think my one thing is it's the reason we have a personal brand and why you need it is clarity.
Personal or professional?
Sorry, professional.
I was going to say, you're a week behind.
Well, typical. Not surprising. Maybe that's my professional brand, is that I'm always. I think that it helps create clarity of who you are and what you're trying to accomplish so that others may discover and understand why they need to choose you rather than choosing anyone else of all the people who do what you do, offer what you offer, or sell what you sell, why they should choose you. And I think that is an important piece of how you are going to drive business. It's interesting. My wife, Liz, and I were having this conversation yesterday. We were driving through where I live up in Hereford in Maryland. And we're in this little town that kind of has a lot of people who've lived there for a long time. And there is a gas station by the exit. Well, of course, they're building this new big Royal Farms, which is kind of a Maryland convenience store right next to it.
You were in Parkdale, weren't you?
Correct. And she was like, well, who's ever going to go there? I'm like, well, it has already developed a brand of this is the community place to go. So I'm sure that there are still a number of people who live in the community who are committed to the community and the small business in the community to that location, who will never go to the other because they feel like they're encroaching on our little community with this big corporate franchise. And there'll be others who drive off the word like, oh, I need all the things that Royal Farm provides, so I'm going to go there rather than going to a small little gas station. And I think this is when you see how strong your brand is if you can survive competition and what competition brings.
I like that. I'm going to go a little different or add on to that. I'm not sure which. I've done a lot of branding work with companies. And one of the things I've seen is when they understand who and what they are and what they want to be and how they do it, it becomes easier to hire employees, train employees, work with employees, and it becomes easier to get the message out. So it's not just about external. Think of an organization. If you're a nonprofit and you're a nonprofit focused on some sort of research, that's kind of loosey-goosey. But when you focus and say, okay, we're going to focus on initial research, or we're going to focus on life-saving research, or we're going to focus on investigative drug research. I mean, there are a whole bunch of facets of research, but if you could just go, hey, we're raising money for research on this disease, that doesn't inspire me as much as, I think of diabetes, and I know there are at least two organizations. One helps people who have diabetes a lot, and the other really funds research. And they cross over a little bit, but as you talk to people in the diabetes world, which side they're on. Are you generating this or this? They're both valuable causes, don't get me wrong. But people, if you have that clarity, oh, my niece was just diagnosed with diabetes. Now I want to spend money with this group because they're going to help her figure out how to deal with this. They're going to run camps. This other group is looking at ending diabetes, which is a great cause.
Sure.
But they're different needs. And I've, had a situation where we're giving money to each of them depending on the situation. And I think that's how it works with the nonprofit and with any other organization is, you're spending your money with them. Why are you spending it and what is it doing for you? And when the brand is clear for an organization or a company, then you know what you're spending your money on.
Absolutely. Great. I like that. So if you have thoughts or ideas or want to share a little bit about your one thing about why you need professional branding, please feel free to put it in the comments here because we know that it will add value to someone else. Or you can talk about it inside the Ring of Renegades Facebook group. If you're not yet a member, it's easy to join. Just go to Facebook, search for Ring of Renegades, and then you can become a part of our group. It is a private group. And so you have to ask to join. But all you have to do is tell us, I know, why you're a renegade. And then you can become a part of this growing group that is trying to help people take their next step on their own unique pathway to success. So we hope we'll see you
that
inside
sounds like
of that.
A brand.
It does sound like a brand. So
say that again. That's our brand, right?
Yes. That we help others take their next step on their own unique pathway to success. So you can go inside and share about that. Or, maybe you want to share why you're trying to get out of the doghouse or what you need to get out of the doghouse for, because if you missed it, today is National Get Out of the Doghouse Day. So everybody who's holding someone in the doghouse, today's the day to set them free. Let them go.
Please.
And
From your lips to God's ears.
there you go. So I would also say that if you are struggling, you're a new business or you're a business that's been around a while, but you're struggling with your branding, or you are not sure if the current branding you're using is working, it might be a great opportunity for you to join us in our 90 Days to Find Your Renegade Way program, which will help you identify where you are at, where you want to be, and the steps along the way to get there. So you can learn more about that if you go to renegadesuccessnetwork.com, and you'll hear more information about Find Your Renegade Way in 90 days. Or you can join our Renegade Success Network and take care of that and have a longer term plan to help you find and identify what your brand is, who you're trying to attract, and what that message might look like. So with that, I hope that you go out and make it a great day. We look forward to seeing you inside the Ring of Renegades Facebook group, or we'll see you tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. Eastern time, for our next edition of today's Antidote. Here's some further information about the Ring of Renegades Facebook group. Take care, everyone. Nice.
I'm working on something for the end. I'm trying
For
to
a
figure out
closing,
what works.
you need a closing?
Yeah, we do.
All right, I like that. See
Boom,
y'all.
boom, boom. I don't know.
Carving your own path is tough. You want and need a community to offer you insights and advice, share inspiration, provide support, and save you time and money. But where do you find all that? Here's the easy answer: the Ring of Renegades Facebook group, where leaders, entrepreneurs, and business owners identify their next steps. Here's some of what you will find at the Ring of Renegades Facebook group. Just go to ringofrenegades.com and join today. Find and accomplish those next steps.